All right, I think I'm talking into this part here. Hey, y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, Lizzie Borden. And hopefully, we don't know, to be honest. This is just us getting together, doing some twin time stuff. We don't know if this video is going to be as Carrie the Housefrau says, demone. You know, where YouTube says, let's rip it down and not send it out and
stealing our
all of
pinnacles.
that. Yeah, stealing our pinnacles. YouTube stealing our pinnacles. We don't know, probably. But whatever. We're just doing whatever. So, a lot of y'all on here say, do more true crime reads, do more true crime reads. And so we're like, you know, with her and her ghosties all the time, she's like, you know, doing stuff that seems kind of, you know, paranormal, true crime, supernatural, the whole shit like that. And so we're like, you know what? Let's do an age-old classic, Lizzie Borden. So that's what we're gonna do. Before we get into that, I'll go ahead and say I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we take a look at the tea with the tiny baby tarot today. Today it's baby tarot.
I've got the regular size.
She's got the regular size
right here that
yeah.
you could use.
Yeah, look at this one card next to this. These are the ones I keep in my purse.
And I've got the same deck in my
No
purse.
lie.
But you could use these. I have these.
I like the babies. I like the babies. I have baby hands, so baby cards work good. But anyway, these readings are always meant to be helpful, not hateful. So if you're down with that, join the family here. We'd love to have you. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell if you'd like to get notified. But please check the profile anyway because YouTube drops the ball. You know this. And also, if you want to join the Perk Squad, Perk Squad join button is down below, blue button, or you can have, yep, Perk Squad. Echo. Bitch, Echo. Perk Squad?
Perk Squad? Okay.
twin time. So there's also a link in the description box below too for if the join button isn't there for you, you can copy and paste the link. You get custom emojis, you get badge by your name, you get what do all we have? Okay.
Shout-outs.
Yeah, shout outs, but that's not the one I want. I'll say that one last because I have a shout out. You get exclusive posts, exclusive videos, and shout outs. It's actually really hard to remember your own intros and outros when you're not filming in your own space.
Yeah, I would
this is
think that.
bizarre. This is very bizarre.
I was wondering how you would do.
Yeah, we're at her house. I'm doing half okay, just a little bit brain farty, but you know, not a brain dump, not brain diarrhea, not, you know, brain... Yeah, that, but still struggle bussing. So the shout out today for Perk Squad is Alicia L. Shout out to you, Alicia L. Thank you for being a part of the Perk Squad.
And for watching some videos on my channel every now and then because you know
nice.
I see you in the comments and we chat up in the comments.
Very nice. Yeah, so for everybody that doesn't know, if you're new here to the channel, this is the twin sister. Yes, as in real twins, and technically, as in genetically, identical twins. So a lot of people don't know that just because I keep my hair short because I have trichotillomania. It won't grow long. And then lately I've been doing it curly because y'all have signed a petition for me to do curly hair, and her hair can be curly if she would do it that way. So
I
there's
let mine
that.
hang because I don't care.
I would do that. I would let mine hang if I had hair to hang, but you know, bald spots. But anyway, yeah, the twin sister, she has her own channel. We will link it below. In fact, we're probably not going to be able to get through all of this on my channel. We're probably going to do a collab style video.
Part 1, Part 2.
Part 1, Part 2, here and there. So there's that. You know how that works.
And Part 2
you know how that works.
Might be a bit more full of shenanigans, which are not something that Demonade has to worry about because I am but a small fish I'm a small fish too. In a non-existent hole.
I'm a small fish like a brim. She's a small fish like a minnow. So,
I think probably smaller than a minnow.
Well, then I'm smaller than a brim.
Well,
we're not that far apart in YouTube land.
I feel planktony.
Okay, well, goddamn, then I'm really... yeah, okay, we don't know. I don't know anything about fish. I don't know anything about fish. I don't even eat fish. I don't do anything. We had pet fish. My pet fish was named Rico Suave, and her pet fish was named Beaujolais.
Beaujolais, and when Beaujolais passed, it was
Beaujolais
d'Or.
And then mine was Rico Suave. That's hilarious. Anyway, okay, so shuffling up here, we're gonna be getting into some stuff today. But
I'm over there like peeking, like what just popped out?
what
girl?
just popped out?
What
We
just popped out?
have some questions.
See,
what we did
before. Oh wait, you're probably gonna say the same thing I was gonna say anyway.
I
But
was just saying what we did before we got here.
yeah,
Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah.
Hashtag twinning. It's
well,
bullshit.
I figured it was.
Okay, you say it.
It's
I've been
logical
talking enough.
and
I've been talking
methodical.
enough.
No,
Go.
okay. So she was like, "What kind of twin collab video should we do?" And I was like, "What about Ghost Stars?" She was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "But what about though? This is hard. This be hard." Yeah. And I was like, "How about Lizzie Borden? Because she has been on my and the Black Dahlia has been on my mind." And B's like, "I don't even know about the Black Dahlia. I barely know about Lizzie Borden."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay."
I told her all I knew about Lizzie Borden was, and we wrote it down. The Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks, and when she saw that she had done, she gave her father 41. And that's when people know we're real twins for real, because when we do stuff like that in the twin voice,
uni voice,
yeah, it turns into uni voice instead of two voices.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only thing.
If that wasn't cringe enough for everyone to be like, abort, click out of the video.
I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. So, but that's all I remember from this Lizzie Borden stuff.
Well, we watched a really awful documentary that was the most cringe ever.
It was cringe,
really
but I
hated
was like, I just want to know
notes.
some of the basic facts of what's out there and why is it a mystery? Like, there's obviously mystery around it. Why? And so we watched it to see what is the mystery, what are the questions people are wondering and asking, so that we can take a peek into what it might be.
Where exactly do we want to dig? So, if I were to give a bit of the notes, and I don't know if I'm actually going to cover all the notes, but it doesn't matter. So, the whole Lizzie Borden case, August 4th, 1892. So, this is the 1800s, Fall River, Massachusetts. Up there in the park the car. I can't do it.
Got my car keys.
Car keys. Oh man, up there.
We can't do it.
Nor'easters, I know. The southern is thick. The southern is just too thick.
And no disrespect. Just in case anybody out there was offended that we were trying to mock
that we're
their
taking
accents.
the piss.
It's like,
how many people take the piss out of the southern accent?
I know, for real. If we were to talk, if you were to talk that, shit, I can't watch Ozarks without cringing. Fucking Netflix Ozark, where they, I'm serious, it's in Missouri, and then Enrico all the time is like, okay, which one of them is real Southern and which one of them is fake Southern? And I tell him right away. I'm like, the lady in the archives with the maps, real as can be. I'm like, Ruth, bless her little hair self, she's got curly hair like mine. She's the one who gave me the idea to wear it up, as much as I can with this. Bless her heart. Fake as fake can be. Fake Southern as hell. So anyway, we understand people fake accents all the time. But yeah, that was our attempt at Massachusetts. Car keys.
And but what's the other one that you always hear about people saying? I don't like nor'easter thing. Because they're saying Northeasterners. I can't even remember. It'll come to me. It'll come to me at a very inappropriate time. But anyway, so this was August 4th, 1800s. You have the father who was a businessman and a stepmother who was the housewife. Both of them were found passed away. She gave me a censorship tutorial.
One-on-one real brief tutorial about these are the words you don't say. We're probably going to get demonetized anyway, but,
I'm trying real hard, though, for you.
I'm trying.
Because I don't think I've even let out a 4-letter word yet.
Yeah. Well,
I really don't. I know, but you see what I mean? Do you realize how hard that is for me?
Yeah, but I have.
Okay.
Just say it. Just get Chris in your mic one time and say it. Just say one.
Toots.
Toots Magoots.
Butt Toots.
Butt Toots.
That's my band name, Butt Toots and Sadness.
And Sadness.
Amy knows.
Okay. Anywho. Kitty Amy?
Yeah.
Kitty's Agatha? Yeah, okay.
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 So anyway, they were found passed away. The father was found on it was like the sitting room sofa. The stepmother was found upstairs in the guest room, face down on the floor, and they were both found with severe. I don't think that was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like,
okay. Anyway, I tried really hard, y'all.
We're doing what we can. We already
she
know.
already told me, so I'm not good at this. But anyway, it was basically a hatchet wounds or whatever. And so there are several different people who were part of the family, some of which weren't present. So Emma was the sister. She was away at a dress fitting, and we were busting out laughing because apparently
for a week,
a full week for a dress fit. Now I get that you've got people who are like seamstresses that are like working on this thing, and so they're probably having to build it as they go and have to do several fittings, you know. But we're like, you can take off time, a whole week of time.
We're allowed to pause the world. I'm sorry, I got to
full
pause
week,
the world for a whole week so I
dress.
could get a dress fitted.
I was like, wow, right.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, Bridget, the maid, she was there all day, but she was taking herself a little nap on the clock, because apparently that is also allowed in the 1800s. And they had a guy named John Moss. He was a brother-in-law that was around, but he was not home at the time, though he was in the area. So anyway, this family, they were supposed to be like happy church-going family. Lizzie herself taught Sunday school. So the whole thing, everybody was like freaked out. They're like, how does something like this happen with this
Hasidity family.
But yeah, highfalutin people with lots of money up in here. Yeah. So they're like, how does this even happen? And so when the crosshairs got on Lizzie, people are like, no, she's a Sunday school teacher. It won't be hard.
She could never do that.
She could never. But you know. So anyway, she ends up going to trial. And there's all these different things, like, you know, we're not going to repeat the whole documentary, but all the evidence and such and things that says proof that maybe she could have done it, proof that maybe she didn't do it, yada, yada, yada. The ultimate result of the trial was she was acquitted. Now, does acquitted equal innocent of the crime?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. It just means we don't have enough to legally peg it on you.
Yep.
But she was acquitted. And then after her trial being acquitted, I'm pretty sure she got part of the inheritance from both of her parent and her step-parent passing, got inheritance money from this. And their money, like back in the day, synonymous to today, was like $6 million, multi-million-dollar family, right? So she got a big payout from this.
If you would translate the money from back then to nowadays, it would be as if someone was a six-time millionaire. Like, how the hell do you say that? I don't know.
I said multi-millionaire, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's how you say. I don't know how to talk money. I don't have any.
Yeah, right? Oh my God. I live in a rental. So, but anyway, she went out.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I was like, I'm getting defensive here. Nothing wrong with that.
Sure, you think I'm judging what I'm swimming in? Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, she got herself a big old car, her nice little, a big house. The car came with a chauffeur. She got herself a chauffeur, the big house. She was hanging out with all the elites, and she ended up
in New York City, being besties with someone on Broadway.
All the besties.
With Nance.
She died of pneumonia at age 67 in her home. So she lived a full life. But there were some things that made it a little bit confusing as to, could she have done it? Did she not do it? So I feel like I'm going to be more like interviewer here, at least at the beginning.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
And yes.
We haven't figured out how we're going to ask questions back and forth. All we know is we have notes of what it was people would be curious about.
Yeah, that was a brief rundown, a brief history of it. So this is where I would like to start with this, because I could go and talk into like the forensic questioning, but I'm afraid that, you know, I'm going to end up saying more stuff, but I don't know how many more dots.
Just so we know, like we said, part 2 will be on her channel, and
it's not, I get no monies.
So she doesn't worry about the DuMonet business, and so she'd be able to say more things than I'd be allowed to say here. And people are like, for people out there that are like, well, just say it, who cares? It's not all about the money, blah, blah, blah. Let me just say real quick. 1, you're right, it isn't all about the money. 2, if that's what you use to pay your bills and all of a sudden your bills can't get paid, it does influence things. And then 3, if your channel gets hit with things regularly being DuMonet, then they start considering your channel not friendly to advertisers, not child safe, you know, just an unsafe channel in general, and they'll stop. Like, you could lose what you have, like you could lose it all. And so you don't want to get deplatformed. You don't want to get I want to say strikes against you, but it's not like literal strikes, but it is like hey, we noticed you've had quite a lot of videos have this happen to you. So we've noted that for you, wink, wink, and you don't want that. So yeah, it is important because it matters for channel longevity. It does. It matters if you want to keep being able to do this.
I'm turning
but
kind of
anywho,
for your mouth.
so yeah, we'll do part 2 on her channel. I do have a private reading that's coming up in 45 minutes from now, and I've got to drive home for that, which isn't too far away, but still there's a chance that some of the video on her channel I might not be present, but that probably makes it funner for the rest of y'all. I'll get the boring, serious shithead out the way.
Ain't nobody said that. Ain't nobody said that about
What's
you.
the question?
Not to your face. Okay.
Exactly.
Turn around, let me say it to you back. You're awful. You're boring. No, okay. Okay, all lies. Okay, so the first question that I wanted to go into is...
Oh, shit. Well, you ain't gonna be able to see that.
Yeah. Ooh, give me my phone.
Oh, here it is. You can see it down here.
Yeah, the Page of Swords upright. I did want to type in Lizzie Borden's zodiac sign. Not that it really matters, but I did want to do that. So, but what I wanted you to start out with, I want to see if you just go ahead and lay out, even if it's just 3 cards. It doesn't have to be something that's too deep, but just something where it's like, okay, this situation, can we just get kind of a snapshot of the energy of this situation? So it can be kind of I just got a text that said that too. So but like, you know, the energy, what the tensions, the conflict, you know, was this something that felt like it was a highly mentally contentious thing, a highly emotionally you know, from the suits of the cards or whatever. Just a quick snapshot of the energy soup that we're kind of swimming in before we start digging. So. Yeah,
and I thought it was cool that the Page of Swords popped out just then, because that's all about like, okay, we're about to get clarity. We're about to have some illumination on the matter.
Digging. Really digging. That's the investigation card, because that's your little sleuth right there.
Yep. So, let's see. All right. What's the soup look like? What's the mix look like here? What are we dealing with? This card felt like it was gonna... Okay.
Oh, she was a Cancer. Let me not offend all the Cancers.
Yeah, as we get several waters here, but okay. So there are several things we're dealing with. I want to get a context. I know y'all aren't going to be able to see these.
Yeah, the closer to you, the better.
Closer to me. Yeah, I know y'all aren't going to be able to see these anyway, but I'll hold them up, and the point is
people will be able to see more than you think that
I just wanted a little bit on this, and then I wanted one here. Okay, so just if I'm trying to be brief with this, because I know I don't want to, talk y'all's ears off about all this stuff, but what I am seeing here for starters is there was a situation going on where there were messed up emotions about things. I'm just going to have to do it like this because the light, sorry y'all. There's messed up emotions about things where people were having hurt feelings and disgruntled feelings, something not going well in the home. And when you have, like with this Page of Cups and this Magician card, it's like somebody then was like, I've got some ideas of what to do here. So already it is kind of leaning in away from the idea of some random happening. There seems to at least be something here that feels connective in the household, especially because we got the Devil card right here. Like seriously, y'all, the freaking Devil card. And on that, we have this person who's making plans. So it's like, okay, if you have the Devil card and someone making plans, to me, that doesn't give the vibe of someone rushing in, doing something real fast, rushing out. Right? Yeah, you don't get that. You get the idea that there's plans. Like you said, premeditated.
And this can be even the children. You know what I mean? Lizzie Borden is the child here. You know what I mean?
The child here. She's in her 30s.
Yeah, she's in her 30s, but obviously this was father and stepmother.
The lady on the documentary also said they were referred to as the girls, even if they were in their 30s. And yeah, they were the technical children of these people who passed. So, or at least of the father, the stepmom, no, but you get it.
And this is the father and the...
Yep, exactly. So I was going to mention that this is the father of the tarot. This Emperor card upright is the father of the tarot. And with the Judgment card reversed on this, I mean, think about that.
Who are they?
Yeah, about the homecoming thing? Or
No, I mean, you can go ahead, but I just think it's funny that here on the actual picture of the judgment card are corpses coming out of coffins.
Yeah,
and in
like,
the reverse, you know what I mean? Just a literalist thing.
Yeah, because I tell people all the time when you're looking at this card that it's Angel Gabriel that's calling for these people to have their homecoming, because that's what happens when you pass. And so that's what's going on right there in the card. And it's interesting that came up on top of the Emperor card, which is the father figure of the tarot. So this is screaming that there was some sort of premeditation. This is screaming that there were plans. Hopefully that P word isn't something that gets triggered on here, but who knows that I just said. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, we already got some interesting stuff here, and we've even got the Hierophant card right here. And with this being in the upright position, there's a lot that could be involved in this, actually.
I feel like this could either be symbolizing, the marriage, the father's marriage to the stepmother being an issue, like something to do with the ties to the marriage that are an issue, but also the fact that religion did play so heavily in all of their lives. It was a big deal.
To me, that's what I'm feeling too, is that there's some sort of I would say religious overtone, but I don't even mean religious, but like Orthodox overtone, traditional overtone, where it's like, this is the house and we're very traditional. Here's the parents, here's the kids.
Victorian.
This is how, because it's in that Victorian era. It's like, this is how you handle, this is the role of the woman, this is the role of the man, this is the, all of that super, super conservative, traditional, Orthodox way of being, and how for some people who have certain thoughts, feelings, or concerns might find that dynamic very limiting or frustrating. So it's kind of what I'm seeing already from that bit. But I don't know if you wanted to handle one of the next questions.
You just went in there and just like tore it up real fast.
I thought you were, what? Were you going to read more into it?
I mean, I probably could have, but we didn't have to either, because that's not the juice.
Yeah, because I was like, we were wanting to get some more questions squeezed in here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
for 10 more minutes while I got you. Okay. Go ahead and shuffle yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that already is, filling a little bit of our context. Set the scene. Paint it out, and that's where we're going from with this. Okay. But there are a couple of questions. This is kind of the trajectory of where I'm going with things. Wondering, was it down to Lizzie Borden herself, or there was another theory of like, was it an intruder? And then once you've kind of looking at who, then it's like, well, why would it be either one? What are the motivations and stuff like that? But all of that stuff, like, you don't have to answer all of the what's, when's, where's, why's like immediately, because like I said, we got 10 minutes. So because let's just talk a little bit about the forensics without going too deep. So they were saying that they thought it could be an intruder because they're like, Lizzie is so upstanding, she couldn't have done it, except for the fact that they thought that the two, let's say, pass away times of the stepmother and the father were different, because again, what, BLOOD, am I supposed to spell? Okay, anyway, was different. The father, it was very wet still. For the stepmother upstairs, it was very viscous, coagulated, which would indicate that her time of passing happened even up to like an hour earlier than the father. So if there was an intruder, they wouldn't just go do harm upstairs, hang around in the wings somewhere for an hour, and then go do harm downstairs. But there was also a secondary theory that came back to Lizzie, where they were saying, well, upstairs was warm in the house. These are old homes that don't have HVAC, right? It's not central heating and air. So upstairs heat rises. So it's warmer upstairs, and it was on the back side of the house where the sun came in, whereas the sitting room where the father was is the front part of the house, which was very shaded. So it was much cooler and much warmer up here. And so if y'all know anything about forensics, then obviously the heat and stuff like that would almost cook things, for lack of a better word. But it would accelerate decomp, which I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to say the full word, but anyway, versus the lower part, it would kind of preserve it or slow that clock down a little bit. So technically they're saying that hour differential might not actually have been, if you're taking into full context, the weather that could have been influencing the scene. So anyway, and so that shifts it right back into Lizzie whodunit. And the other thing about Lizzie that we'll talk about, and we'll pull cards on in just a second, is that she was actually told on by somebody else in the family system. They ratted her out and they were like, Lizzie, while the cops were there investigating, she didn't have any... I almost stopped it on her gown or her dress or anything like that. So they're like, well, she couldn't have done it because she didn't have any kind of splatter on her, and you would have to if it was like a hatchet. I mean, obviously it would be everywhere. But somebody ratted her out and said that she had actually taken a dress while the cops were still on scene, and this could have still been like a week later that the cops were still on scene. It doesn't have to be the exact same day. Anyway, but she had put it in the oven and was burning it, incinerating all this potential evidence. And so that looks like a knock against her. But yet in court on the stand, her sister Emma took the stand, and even though Emma wasn't in town during this time, she said, but it was normal for them to do this for dresses that were old, that they didn't want anymore. They were getting dresses made.
And she told her
and so she was like, hey, we're getting dresses made, bringing home. You go ahead and like, just get rid of the old ones that we're not going to use, And so she was saying... could have been covering for her, which is a question that we wanted to dive into. So anyway, this is kind of the toggle back and forth between intruder alert or Lizzie at the hands of it. But still yet, we want to see which one does the tarot look like it's leaning towards. The tarot before we get into the why.
It looked like it was leaning towards her when I did a pull.
Yeah, already.
But so, okay, then the next question would be if we're kind of zeroing it in.
Well, I do kind of want to see, like, even if you just did like one card for, give me a card to show if it was her. Give me a card to show if it was an intruder, because I usually do. Oh, okay.
But
well, yeah, okay. So, because when I'm looking at this, so this would be like, was it more of her hand or not? And we've got the Eight of Cups
of
here,
something distancing, walking away.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I see of it is more of where she is feeling very unfulfilled in this family system, and she's like, no, I need out. I need out of this. Like, and this was her ticket out of this kind of environment versus, this being an intruder card, the Four of Cups in reverse. I mean, look at homeboy right there. Like, I not want this. To me, looks like this person doesn't have it. There's no like, oh God, come on, Alma, blanking on the words. The cup. Oh, it slipped. Motive.
Burning part.
No, okay. It was motive. It was just motive. It wasn't anything complicated. But it just feels like, okay, there's no motive. There's no emotional reason for them to be getting into this. You see what I mean? This is like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm not part of this. I've got no motive in the cup. This is kind of like, leave me out of it. You know what I mean? That's kind of the feeling, motive, really. The feeling that I get from that. Whereas this is more like, I'm going to try to do the dirty and then get out. So anyway, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I could see that from that. In that case, once again, kind of reiterating what we saw in the first pool, with it looking like, because in that first pool it was clearly saying there was somebody had a reason. There was family system. There were family
that
issues
was thought about beforehand.
Yeah,
it was coming. You know what I mean?
There was something building.
Yes.
And building plans. For what, we don't know. We've heard some people say there could be money-related reasons of why it's building, but some people think she wouldn't do that for just money because she's potentially an heir anyway. Why would she have done that for money? That's what some people are saying.
Money was something that people brought up. Freedom because of the Victorian, the Victorian influence and the father controlling the house, and her just wanting to get out more. And then the third one being asking the concept of, was there a healthy dynamic in the home, or was there some kind of toxic or inappropriateness that could have been happening in the home that we would want to delve into too? So like when we're looking at her, I'm curious about, you know, like if this was her, it's like, why would she do it? What is she thinking? What is she feeling? What is her perspective of her mom? What is her perspective of her dad? If her sister was covering for her, was she covering for her using the tarot to dig into that? And if she was covering her, what would her motivation be in terms of being complicit or being an accomplice in this kind of a thing? Was it because she actually knew about this and she had her hands in this too? Or is it just, I love my sister and I want to cover kind of a thing?
Because I don't want her to hang.
Yes, because you will. That was the punishment. That was the penalty. Was
the hanged man card.
Yes. And the one thing that I wrote down on here is not even important that I thought was interesting is they had an actual like scientific mathematical equation to know how long the length of your rope had to be to make it where things would snap and that you would pass quicker, so it wouldn't be completely cruel. And someone as petite as her, she only weighed 126 pounds. She wasn't that tall. So someone that was that petite, you don't have a lot of resistance to pull down, you know, to do anything.
So you have to fall
further. You have to fall much further. So she actually would have needed 6'9" of leeway to drop so that it would actually happen quicker for her, because any shorter length, she just wouldn't be heavy enough for it to happen. And
it better be glad she got acquitted and it was pneumonia at age 67 instead of that at age 34.
Public. This is the town square.
That was public,
because it was a spectacle up in the 1800s.
Yeah, they said that there were so many people that back in the day, and this is something that happens all the time now, but back in the day, they had to get extra policemen to guard to see if people that were onlookers and wanting to watch this happen. And back in that day, apparently you never would have to call on all this extra to guard people around. Sure, we have that nowadays, but back then apparently not. So should be glad she's acquitted. But yeah, okay. Well then, in that case, let me see.
I think also all these questions that we have, all these questions, is this where we start our part 2?